All right, so my two, and I'm gonna catch a lot of flack from this, and I've made countless videos about this, maybe 3 videos, but I would say my most annoying fan base would have Now, I'm not saying that they're my most annoying fan base right now, but at the peak, they were annoying as hell. It would be the 2011 to 2014 San Francisco 49ers fans. Because
Yeah.
because oh my god.
You have a time.
No, because I specifically remember it. I specifically remember them being just a really bad team. And I would always feel bad for them. I would always feel bad for their fans. Their fans seemed to be genuine people who were just looking for a way for their team to be good. And then Jim Harbaugh steps in, and then almost overnight, I would say, from them, that Raiders 49ers preseason game where the 49ers fans and the Raiders fans start stabbing, that game gets canceled at Candlestick, and people were getting punched, people were getting stabbed in the parking lot, and 49ers fans just gained a reputation for just being bad apples. It just seemed like it was cool. It was cool to be a 49ers fan. It wasn't just the fact that, and it was the fact that they were good. People just became 49ers fans because the team was good. And everybody on my Facebook feed was a 49ers fan. At the time, I didn't know any of you guys, but there were people who just started showing up who were 49ers fans, who I had known to be a fan of players, other teams. For me, it was just ridiculous. And it wasn't the fact that I wanted to be like, oh, you can't be a fan of that team. It was just like, well, that's kind of convenient. And whenever I'd say that, I get a lot of backlash for calling people bandwagon fans. I don't go around calling people bandwagon fans. It's just not. It's not what I do. But
we all know that EDP's a bandwagon fan.
No,
obviously.
But at the end of the day,
that's because he's on the wagon.
At the end of the day, the bandwagon stayed tough. I would walk around San Jose, where the South Bay where I lived, and everybody would be wearing Niners hats. Everyone would be wearing fresh Colin Kaepernick jerseys, Frank Gore jerseys, Patrick Willis jerseys, and then at the end of the 2014 season, the beginning of the 2015 season, crickets. You wouldn't even see 49ers stuff at Safeway anymore.
I used to go to the same bar every single year, from before the 49ers were good through when they were good and after.
Yeah.
No 49ers fans in the bar watching the morning games. A few trickle in, maybe here and there. During the heyday of them, bars are packed all the time with 49ers fans talking about how they're the best. 3 NFC championships in a row. We're the best. And then as soon as they got bad, Hank, you're right. Crickets. No one was showing up.
Even that 2014 season, Tommy's was filled with more Raiders fans, and the Raiders got 4 wins that year.
Oh yeah,
there were more Raiders fans in that bar than 49ers.
They might not be bandwagon fans. I would call those guys fair weather fans. So
what's the difference?
Okay, well, here's the difference. You're not a bandwagon is suggesting you're jumping on any team that's good.
Any team that's
good. So what I'm saying is that there are 49er fans that will root for the 49ers when they are good, but they'll step away from the sport if they're not good. So I would call the Niners a fair weather fan base.
Yeah.
Raiders are not a fair weather fan base. Raiders fans are loyal.
Ride or die.
Yeah. That's the difference between fair weather.
I also feel like it's the culture. It's also the culture of that area, to the fact where you could be a Giants fan and an A's fan. You could be a Raiders fan and a 49ers fan if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure there are people who do that, but like at the time, it was just I could go up to a person and ask them, "Hey, who's Tim Rattay?" And they wouldn't know who Tim Rattay was because they just started watching the team and they were like 17, 18 years old. But it was just very convenient that happened. And then when it's all said and done, you could go to Valley Fair Mall and you could still see a poster of Colin Kaepernick right at the Macy's area where the escalator is. So at the same time, it was just very annoying to me. People would like call me a hater. They'd just be like, "Oh, you're just jealous." I'd be like, "Well,
you hate us because they ain't us."
Yeah, but at the same time, I was right. There were a lot of fair weather and bandwagon fans, and this doesn't go out to people who are fair weather or for people who are real fans.